So we can't own a property and we can barely afford to rent. And when we can rent, some of us are subjected to a Victorian-style humiliation with a concept known as rich door, poor door.
The question of rich doors and poor doors, it comes up when, again, you're building a new building and you've got to put affordable housing in it. At the moment, a lot of developers are getting out of the affordable housing altogether. But where they have to put it on site, what they generally try and do is squirrel it away into the corner of the site or put it in a separate building, or if they put it in the same building, actually provide separate entrances, separate lifts. You're literally dividing people according to what they can afford, and you can see why people are very, very angry about it.
Class War, an activist group, started protests against poor doors in London 2 years ago, bringing this issue into the spotlight and campaigning for one door for all.
We did that protest for over a year. Week in, week out, we were there and we were making the arguments, and actually we won those arguments. When we were talking to people about this issue, we were saying, do you know what's happening here? Look at this front door, it's got a concierge and nice carpets and turtle shell lifts. Look at the place where people on social housing have to go through. They've got to actually make their way through a load of rubbish and bins and skips, and the door's not working and the buzzer's not working. I was surprised by people's reaction to that, which was mainly, they've got a home. A home is better than nothing.
Activists aren't the only ones campaigning against poor doors. People have responded in very creative ways. Last year, there was even an art exhibition called The Poor Door.
The opening night was really busy, and throughout the run of the 10 days of the exhibition there was lots of people coming in, but people were really wanting to talk about it as well, and it kind of opened up a platform for sharing feelings and thoughts and opening up a debate, really. My art is an expression of my feelings, really. It's an emotional thing, so when I see something that I feel is unjust, it quite often sort of channels into my artwork somehow. The whole poor door issue is really negative, I think, because it makes people who live in the social housing side of it feel that they're somehow less worthy, really.
These are people's homes. They are where children are born, they are where children play, they are where grandparents visit, they're where love happens. These are the things that make a home, not the bricks and mortar. Property developers, estate agents in London have changed that narrative. They call them units, they call them portfolios. How disgusting is that?
Whilst Lisa and her organisation are understandably unhappy about the separate entrances for the well-off and not so well-off, not all property developments are including rich doors and poor doors, as is the case at this Wembley estate.
In these apartments, included in your rent are your utilities, your broadband, the use of the communal spaces, which are 2 lounges. There'll be a gym opening up shortly, a cinema room, and the large podium garden. We've got about 10% students, about 10% key workers, and a large number of sort of younger people at the beginnings of their careers. So this is not necessarily what you might think of as a place for only the wealthy.
Across London in Bow, private residents are happily living in a mixed community.
I've never really noticed any difference here between the different flats. I don't really think that anyone should be treated differently in wherever you live. I think it's your house at the end of the day, it's your home. It's where you want to spend your time and live and be calm and have a nice evening. It's the same for everybody, so everyone should be able to come home and live in a safe place and live in a comfortable place.
Building a building where people who are classed differently have to go into different doors. That's Downton Abbey. That's the servants round the back.
For some people, the rich door, poor door trend is about developers selling luxury flats to rich investors who don't want to mix with local people. But could it also be seen as a positive concept? Whilst poor doors is an unfortunate term, if it does provide access to more housing in the public sector, then could it also be serving a very good purpose?